Welcome to Cult Fiction. We've got a full episode tonight. Actually, we're going to be talking about Catherine O'Hara, a an American treasure who we lost this week. We're going to do a little homage to her. We're also going to be talking about Wonder Man, the new series from Marvel, and one of the characters. If you haven't seen Wonder Man, you should know. Spoilers abound. So
Spoiler.
from this point forward, you are on your own. If you haven't seen the whole series yet, you should watch that first before you dig into this. We're going to be talking about a little bit about Joey Pants. It was nice to see him in that series, so we're going to go around the table on that guy. Tonight, Eric is doing trivia out of order tonight because my fault, I wasn't ready. So for the next couple of weeks, my punishment is I have to do two trivias back to back. But tonight, Eric is doing it. Why don't you start us out with a clue, sir?
Okay, Einstein.
Einstein. I started
Deja vu.
I started a trivia with Einstein
Are we
once.
texting you?
Sure.
Okay. Einstein.
Yeah.
And text is the way to go for
Sure.
tonight. So we're gonna do a little guess here. Real genius.
Fix it into the phone.
So Catherine O'Hara, for those who were not familiar with her
No.
work, was I thought a pretty amazing actress. She did a lot of voice work, and I don't think people have a real appreciation for the amount of voice work that she did. She was also one of the mainstays in the Christopher Guest comedies. He did a bunch of those. So I'm going to start out by saying that my favorite role that she ever did was in probably the least popular Christopher Guest comedy, which was For Your Consideration, the one that nobody saw, right? Everybody saw Mighty Wind, everybody saw Best in Show, and even
Joe, so good.
right, but nobody saw For Your Consideration. I think it cut a little too close to the bone for people in Hollywood. It never really got any popularity. But that was also the one where I thought she had the broadest range. And then she was the voice. Little piece of trivia: she was the voice of Sally in The Nightmare Before Christmas, and not a lot of people know that.
You
That
did a ton of voice acting,
she did a
actually.
lot of voice acting.
Quite
She
a bit,
did.
quite a bit.
Yeah, she did. She was in recently. She was in Elemental. She was in Wild Robot. Like she's done a bunch of voice acting work. Um, but I won't steal anybody else's thunder because she's done some other cool stuff. But just you know, salute to Catherine O'Hara. We're gonna miss her. So let's go around real quick and talk about her. Eric, what have you got?
Well, obviously, yeah, Best in Show. I mean, I think we're going to talk Beetlejuice and we're going to talk Home Alone.
Right,
You
right,
know, that's what put her, everywhere. But like you said, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that she did that people don't even realize. I
right,
think if you went through her filmography and saw how many things she voiced, you would be blown away,
right,
you
Mhm.
know. And then maybe even go down to her SCTV days,
right,
you know, which
right,
was which was like I was about to call it Canada's Saturday Night Live, basically,
right.
you know. And the amount of talent that came out of that place
For real.
Mhm.
for their short amount of time, the amount of talent that came out of there, in my opinion, very much rivaled what was coming out of Saturday Night Live.
Agreed.
Because you're talking John Candy, you're talking about her, you're talking about Rick
Eugene Levy.
Moranis,
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
there was
Eugene
a
Levy.
Yeah, Martin
I mean,
Short. You know,
what's that?
Martin Short.
Martin
yeah,
Short. It's like, dude, I mean,
that place.
that's some heavy hitters right
That's some
there.
comedy gold mine right
That's some
there.
comedy gold mine, right? So yeah, Best in Show, amazing. Obviously, I think um Beetlejuice and Home Alone are two of my favorite movies ever,
Mhm.
you
Right.
know. So uh yeah, it's sad. It's a sad day,
It is sad.
It's sad.
Sad. Alex, what do you think of when you think of Catherine O'Hara?
I mean, I'm with you. The Christopher Guest comedies hold like a special place in my heart, like all of them, you know.
Right.
But I was gonna single out Best in Show, not Best in Show, but for your consideration, simply because, yeah, there's a lot more range in her part there in
Right.
that role, even though it's mostly comedic, you know, it's like 85% comedic, but then there's like 15% of like, you know, kind of sad depression,
Right.
tragedy there, you know.
Really brutal
And
satire. Yeah.
yeah, and it's a hard balance to pull off, you know, where it's like be funny most of the time, but then in a very short amount of time, kind of hit an emotional note there, you know, that's like really kind of deep, you know, and she did that really, really well. And so, yeah, like the Christopher Guest comedies, for me, those are probably my favorite things from her. And those are the things that I'm gonna, over the years, I've watched the most and will continue to see the most. But if I had to pick out like one role where I'm like, you know, that really shows that she had more range than just being like super funny. It's going to be for your consideration.
Yeah. Agree. 100%. Bueller, what do you got?
I mean, everything that's been said has been very accurate, so I
Mhm.
can't like really reiterate that. But like, honestly, her relationship with Macaulay Culkin, that developed over the years since Home Alone was phenomenal. The fact that he still called her mom and
Mhm.
all that kind of shit, like that's pretty deep, dude. Like Macaulay Culkin has come back into the limelight. Uh, Sorry, spoiler, but he's in Fallout and
Right.
he's jumping back into acting, and I feel like that has a lot to do with his wife, but also has a lot to do with Catherine O'Hara, encouraging him to go back and embrace his roots and get back involved in that. And her passing is devastating to him in a major
Mhm.
way, and it's a real loss to the acting community and the comedic community and everything else because she as a female comedian, like that's 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 rare for her to be able to carry on over so many decades.
Mhm.
We don't see that a lot with female comedians. A lot of them seem to come and go, and they leave their mark and they do a great job. Catherine O'Hara was always there.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to cite a specific movie, but I'm going to cite just her impact on the entire scene. Um,
Right.
she was phenomenal, and we all loved her. She did a great job. There was never a time she was on screen where we were like,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, think about
No,
her
Right.
it was
first.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah,
Her first credit is in the 1970s,
Right.
you know,
wow.
and
Exactly.
to
Yeah,
2026, you know.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, she's one of those personalities that like you know, anytime she's in something, you like it more now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically,
I think
yeah.
that's very fair. I think Jubal or Alex said it once about somebody else where it was just like, um, whenever you see that person, yeah, whatever you were watching just got a little bit better.
Mhm.
Michael
You know, it's
Madsen. When we were talking about
yeah,
Michael Madsen,
yeah, I
it's
think that
Yeah.
was it. Yeah,
when he shows up, you're like, oh, it's
nice.
you're not
Not
necessarily
Mads
gonna like
Mikkelsen, Mads Mikkelsen.
right. Or Mads Mikkelsen. I kind of feel the same way about him actually. If he just walks on set, I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay, this movie just got better. But yeah, Michael Madsen was that way, and Catherine O'Hara was certainly that way because she was in so much stuff that even if she just has a bit part, you're like, oh man, quality, right? Just an extra layer of quality.
Yeah, she's not
So
signing off for garbage. She's
right,
going to add an extra je ne sais quoi, as they say, whatever it is. It, she's amazing.
right, right. So she's gonna be missed. Uh, we'll miss you, Catherine. Have fun entertaining people in heaven. Okay, so moving on to Wonder Man.
Well, should I do
I
another?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
let's do a clue, and then we're gonna hit up some Wonder Man. We're gonna do that. So yeah, give us a clue. First clue was Einstein. Second clue,
I write mine down, by the way.
Plutonium.
come on, come on, you smartass. So
Did you say
he
plutonium?
said
Yes.
plutonium. He's copying me. I see how it is. All right. You know what? Out of protest, I'm not even gonna guess. Um, I mean, okay, I'll guess. I'll make a guess real quick. Oppenheimer.
That was my version. So yeah.
So Wonder Man. I want to dig into Wonder Man.
That's
I
exactly that's the movie. That's what he's cueing us at. It's Wonder Man.
Wonderful.
So Bueller, let's start with you. You're the only one I haven't talked to yet about this series. What did you think?
I didn't dislike it. I just thought it was very slow.
Hmm.
If you're gonna give us 8 half-hour episodes, they got to be like, what's going on? What's happening? Let's get some action. Let's see what's happening here. And it was more of uh, it was more dramatic and very slow moving. And because it's Marvel, like Eric says, I'm a sucker for the drama. I'll keep watching. I'm going to keep watching. But man, if I was new to this scene, I would not have finished it. Uh,
Hmm.
but I did finish it, and I was surprised, and I enjoyed how it wrapped up. Um, my bigger questions come from like it being a Marvel Spotlight showing.
Hmm.
I don't know what that means for this
Yeah,
character.
I'm not clear what that means either. I don't know what
Well,
that
Marvel
means.
Spotlight was Moon Knight. Marvel Spotlight was Werewolf in the Night.
Right.
Werewolf by Night, yeah.
Werewolf by Night,
Werewolf by
yeah.
Night, yeah. And so, are we looking at something like Midnight Suns? I have no idea. We also look at if you dive deep into the comics, Wonder Man's one of his biggest nemesis is Doctor Doom, and we have Doomsday coming up. Are we
Right.
going to see Wonder Man in Doomsday? Well, there was no post-credit scene saying we're going to see him come back in
Yeah, there was no stinger that I saw in any of the
Stinger.
episodes.
But they didn't do any of that with the Marvel Spotlight shows either. Uh,
Hmm.
so I don't know. Like I didn't hate it. I like the way it wrapped up. And big spoiler. So if you haven't watched it, then fucking go away. Uh, Wrapping up with him like rescuing Ben Kingsley out of the prison, like that was it was cool. It was a nice bow on the episode the show. Um, but like ultimately, I'm like, I don't know what I just watched. I don't know what I gained from this in the MCU, and because we've been groomed for this. We're
Hmm.
watching all these Marvel shows and wanting to know what the next step is with every Marvel show we see, whether a movie or a TV show. What's going to happen? How is this going to lead into the next big event in Marvel, right? And so maybe this doesn't. And if it doesn't, then it was okay. It was
I get what you're saying. Like
Okay.
it was a slow burn introduction of the Wonder Man character, right? And it wasn't like a big enterprise unto itself. It
But if we
basically
never see him
Mhm.
again, then what was it for? Why?
I do you think we're never going to see Wonder Man again?
Part of me
I
does. Yeah, part of me does.
really I because I feel like we're certainly going to see him again.
Mhm.
Um, uh, well, Alex, do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the criticisms, like in that way. Like for me personally, what I really, really enjoy is being surprised by something that's, good in ways
Hmm.
that I didn't expect. And that's totally what I got out of this.
Right,
And it's just sort of like, now, for me personally, I have no idea about the Wonder Man character whatsoever, like from the comics and everything. If you had shown me a picture of him, I couldn't recognize him. So, going into the TV show, I have no expectations and no
zero expectations.
understanding.
I was the same way. Yeah,
Right. It was just nothing. And so it took me in a direction that I wasn't expecting. It's like, okay. And if I remember the first episode, I kind of agreed, yeah, it's a little slow. I don't know where it's going. But then I kind of found myself where it's sort of like, it's not similar to, but my experience initially was kind of like watching WandaVision, where it's like,
right,
I'm not quite sure what's happening, but I'm really interested in it. Now, a lot of it is probably just because I like the actors, and Ben Kingsley obviously is phenomenal and everything. But it's just sort of like I found myself kind of just drawn into this because and this aspect of this guy who's like hiding his identity for the reasons, and it's like it's kind of like yeah, it's a slow burn. It's just like peeling away these layers of the story in every episode that I kind of saw. And I understand that it's not building up to a ultimate Marvel goal as far as like the franchise and everything. I'm perfectly okay with that. So like I'm one thing I'm really liking about this show in particular is that I don't need to have something that's always going up and building up to the next big thing. I'm okay with having something that maybe might be its own thing, and maybe it
Mhm.
just might be a one-off. Like we had Werewolf by Night, and that was cool. And I don't think that's gonna go into anything with the Avengers, and it's just like its own one-shot standalone. And maybe it's going to be a one-shot series or something. That's fine with me, right? And but I was really drawn into it, and I was like surprised, just kept surprising me every episode. And then when he had the spoiler, the big reveal, where it's sort of like Kingsley is going back to his role as as the terrorist and everything, and it's just sort of like Mandarin. And I'm just like I said, I just kept being surprised the whole way. And
Mhm.
it's just sort of like Marvel has been kind of in a rut over the last several years where it's just like it's not surprising me and it's not doing much that is, at best it's been like decent or maybe even good, but nothing's been great.
Right.
And so what I really like now is just being surprised by something I didn't expect in a way I didn't think was going to happen. And I was pretty much interested in the entire way, and every new development kind of surprised me. So I thought that was really cool. So as far as that goes, I really, really enjoyed it. I can understand like if somebody has an expectation going into it that this is going to be another Marvel show, you might be disappointed. But it's just sort of like that's not what it is. And for me, I'm perfectly okay with that as long as the end result is good. And I thought
Mhm.
this one was.
So
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
jump back real quick with Werewolf by Night, like I know I brought that up, and then Alex just reiterated it. Like that was without question advertised as like a Halloween special.
Sure.
We knew that was going to be a
Mhm.
one-off. Wonder Man, we didn't really know what we were getting into. Uh, so we were all kind of caught off guard because I don't think the advertising was very huge. I saw some online stuff and it was Marvel, so I was going to watch it no matter what. Um, yeah, it was a slow burn, and yeah, I did enjoy it, but I just don't know what's going to happen from here. Werewolf by Night, I always assumed was just a one shot, and we were done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not looking at the horizon when you're watching Werewolf by Night. You're just like, this is a one thing. But I agree with you guys. It could be a one shot, and it felt like a one shot. It felt like one of those Marvel one shots. But it also could turn into something else, and maybe part of that depends on how it does. So we want to get to Eric, but maybe Eric wants to give us another clue here real quick before we do your part, sir. So we got Einstein, plutonium,
Almanac.
almanac. Almanac. That's interesting.
Um,
Einstein, plutonium,
so,
almanac.
so
Um,
um,
hmm,
with Wonder Man, I am hearing grumblings that it might get a season two
good.
because it's doing pretty well.
Good.
Um, I like the performances. I like the actors. Um, my issue was that also Alex got it. Um, um, the the my issue was I kept going, why are you telling me this story?
Hmm,
That was more than anything. It was like this what it felt like to me was a vehicle for um Trevor, right? Jubal, you got it.
okay.
Um uh it felt like a vehicle for Trevor. Like they were like, man, we got to get Trevor back in here somewhere. Like because he's Ben Kingsley, because
Right.
why not,
And
right?
I think we were talking about it before that it might have been that he was under contract and they had to put
Right,
him in something.
right. It's uh yes. It was I think he's under contract. They're like, we got to get him back here. Um and then they were like, you know what? Wonder Man is an actor by day and a superhero by night. We could do something with Trevor and him.
Right.
And I think that's how it felt because the whole thing was 8 episodes of him trying to land a part in a movie. There was no real villain. I mean, who's the villain? The damage control guy who was absolutely fucking correct the whole time. Was that the bad guy? The guy who was like on it, you know? So I don't know. That was my only issue was like, why are you telling me this story? You could have told me another Wonder Man story and still use these guys because they were great, you know. I did like the writing. I think we talked about it, or I talked about it with one of you guys. I thought it was a welcome change from how Disney normally does stuff, because they did get a lot of shit because the black version of Wonder Man is about 15 years old. You know, I think it maybe came out in
Right.
2009 or something like that. And obviously the white version, the is from like 1967, 68, something like that. But at no point it was about him being black. He was just a guy trying to get a job,
He
and
was
he
he
didn't
was
he
he
didn't.
was playing the original Wonder Man. Like
Right. Yeah,
they
he was
showed the
really
original
playing
Wonder
the original Wonder Man. Yeah. So, what you would almost assume from Disney that would be, some kind of thing in there that he couldn't get jobs because he was black or something. That would be that their kind of modus operandi, but they didn't do that. And it was cool because I think that that's what actually we should be doing is we should be having comic book heroes who happen to be black and still resonate with everybody, and I don't think they do that enough. They go, we have a superhero and he's black, and by the way, every white person he comes in contact with is racist. Every cop is racist. It's like, okay, but now what you're doing is you're now not everybody can like relate with him. Oh, I did the hand thing. Uh, but not everybody can relate with him, and because with what's his name, like Spider-Man. The reason everybody can relate with Spider-Man is because
Nothing.
he doesn't do white shit. He doesn't go around and beat up, you know, ethnic looking gangbangers all day, or his taxes. I don't know. What do white people do? You know what I'm saying? But it's like he's just a kid, and everybody can get involved in it, and that's what I liked about this Simon Wilson character. He was like every guy, you
Mhm.
know, but he was very pretentious about his acting,
Right.
and that got in his way more than anything. Was that he was just like, well, I don't know if my character would read this book, or I don't know if my character would be
Right.
like. That was a great opening scene because the whole time you're going, oh, dude, shut up.
Right. Right.
Oh, but that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like you're supposed to be like,
Right.
oh,
You're
Well,
on screen
I actually
for
had to
10
look up.
seconds.
yeah,
I had to look up Wonder Man's powers because I'm like, is he super analytical? Is he overly
right,
intelligent? Like,
right.
why is he doing this shit? And like, none of that popped up. It was
No,
just
he
him
was
as an
just
actor.
really, really in love with the craft, and he like that's how it manifested itself.
Right.
And so there was so much to like in it, and then but I was like, give me more than just him trying to get this part.
Sure.
Give me more than that. So I don't know.
I think what I said to you was, this series is a lesson in how to do a Marvel series for $300,000,
Yeah,
right? Because it's like you give $100,000 to the main actor to Ben Kingsley, and then you spend $100,000 on everything else because it was pretty low budget. The guy who played Wonder Man, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Is it
yeah. It is difficult.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen? I think that's
Yes,
correct.
something like that. Yeah.
I thought that he was fan-fucking-tastic. I thought he
Hmm.
did a great job. I've not, I can't remember seeing him before.
Mhm.
He was
Uh,
Black Manta in Aquaman.
Oh shit.
okay,
Never
okay.
saw it.
And then he was also
He put on some
Mr.
talent since then, huh?
He was also Dr. Manhattan in the latest HBO um Watchmen.
Watchmen,
As,
okay.
as
Yeah.
as
The
Black
animated
Manta
one.
though, he put on some weight, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a lot larger in Black Manta.
He was
Yeah.
bigger. He was bigger in Black. Shit, I
Oh, in
thought.
Black Manta, he was yoked out of his mind. Here, he's just in phenomenal shape, but in Black Manta, I felt like he was yoked.
For some
Yeah, I
reason in my
didn't
head, like,
recognize him.
yeah, okay. I thought it was like much thinner and
And that's one of the things is he is a very good actor. He's very good looking. If he wants to be, that guy can be built like a brick shit house. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like he can get much like Michael B. Jordan, right? Like Michael B. Jordan can look like a comic book character.
Sure.
And I will give him credit when you first see him in the in regards to what Alex said, he doesn't know if he knows what Wonder Man looks like. I have a very like I know what Wonder Man looks like. There's a picture when I think of Wonder Man that I think of him in that pose. That was the pose that he was in when you first see him in the suit. And I gotta say, silhouette wise, fucking the same. The same. Like the build, the kind of like everything, he's got it.
Mm.
The only issue I have is I felt like there would be people who would be turned off by what is essentially a race swap. And in that regard, I wanted him to do something that was like an original black part, like a blue Marvel or something, because I think he's a great actor. I think he looks the part. Um, and then you give him like a foundational like original black character, and I feel like the sky's the limit. I was afraid that people wouldn't watch this because they were so over the race swaps and the gender swaps and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, that sucks because then it would be a waste of him because he's so dope.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think
Well,
a whole bunch of rabid Wonder Man fans really.
Fair, but I don't think it's the Wonder Man fans as much as it's just the pushback against the the constant race and gender swaps. So
But
I don't think that. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think anybody's like, oh my God, you know, my favorite character.
right, they ruined my favorite character. Right.
but
So,
again, like I said earlier, I think they did a really good job like explaining the Wonder Man original character with the
Right,
old like 1960 movie.
sure.
And this is
right.
who it was initially, and we're rebooting the Wonder Man character, and we can cast you. And he's
Mm.
Right.
like, you can cast me, and he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. Like they did a really, really good job making that transition happen.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm kind of with Alex on this in the sense that
Look,
I,
Eric, if it wasn't Back to the Future 2, then I need another clue, dude.
so
It
I
it
think
is
we've all
Back to the
got it.
Future too. You
Yeah.
put Back to the Future.
I put two after that. I sent you two.
Oh,
So we all
oh,
guessed, we
you
all
did.
guessed
After
it.
I said no, you did. I was probably talking.
No, it's fine.
Einstein, plutonium, almanac was the giveaway.
Yeah,
Back
and
to
then the
the future
next one was
two.
going to be hoverboards.
Hoverboards, yeah. So that
The reason I did Plutonium and Einstein is because if you watch Back to the Future 2, there's so much shit in there that's basically lifted from the first one. Like
mhm,
like half that movie is new and then half of it is reused
right,
from the original, you
right.
know. So I just that was kind of my meta take on it was that I was going to use a couple of like the same things because that's what they did.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
then
Fair
and then
enough.
Very clever.
It's super meta, super meta. We're getting
super
meta with our
meta.
own stuff now. So let me just say real quick on Wonder Man. I won't take a lot of time, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot. And I think the reason that I really liked it a lot is because what Alex said, what I always love is to find something unexpected, right? And I don't, this is not my jam, like the whole acting scene. Obviously, none of us are
Yeah.
in the acting scene. And I feel like there was all kinds of there were inside jokes. Like if you were in the acting scene, that you would have probably loved this even more, just because there's so much inside stuff. The whole scene with the director where he wants him to like do this different weird stuff. What do you got?
So I'm a registered thespian, by the way. Yeah, I am on
Okay.
the books as a registered thespian, and I thought
All
this was
right.
very well done.
Okay.
You can register as a thespian.
I am a
That's a
registered
thing.
thespian. I'm not registered with I'm not registered with SAG, but I am a
Right.
registered thespian. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I'm registered with SAD.
make all the jokes you want,
So
bro. I am a thespian.
he's a thespian. All right, that's great. So I thought it was great. I thought it was a fascinating character drama between the character Simon and Slattery and their friendship. And here's this guy who doesn't really have a lot of friends because he has this secret he's trying to keep. I thought it was well done. I thought it was slow burn. There was suspense because when he destroys the island, the in his his mom's kitchen, you realize that there's a lot of
Yeah.
There's something going on there. Interesting.
And it was
And
a
then
cool way that they made Trevor into Barnaby without being Barnaby.
exactly.
You
So
know,
it was working on a lot of different levels, and their performances were so great, and their friendship, I really felt it. I really was interested in it. I was interested in the subject matter as far as the scene. I don't know a lot about acting and all the behind the scenes stuff, and I felt like it really kind of educated you on that whole process. You feel the change in his life as he becomes famous, and these different things are happening, and then the payoff, the final part of it when he breaks Slattery out, I thought was fantastic. I thought it was great. It's perfect. So I give it a strong thumbs up. I realized that it was slow, and that a lot of people who watch a Marvel series want to see hallway fights, right? They want to see people
right.
getting hit in
Well,
the face with a
again,
crowbar.
again, you have 8 half-hour episodes, and there was so much, and yet so little in those 4 hours.
Right, I get that.
And
And
none of us have talked about the
I mean,
doorman
I feel
episode.
so
like
the
it got a
door,
lot. It just wasn't what you thought. You know, it was just something different.
I do feel like the doorman episode was a bridge too far. I feel like that wasn't super helpful, right? I realize that you need a story about why you can't work as an actor if you have
Right.
superpowers, but you could have folded that into the Sokovia Accords somehow. Like you could have done that. You
It
didn't
could have
need to
been a
have
5 minute, 3 minute
as much as
explanation.
as much as I appreciate the guy who played Doorman. I thought he was actually funny and his whole ding dong thing. But that episode itself just wasn't helpful. I don't think.
Yeah, but having
It's
having Josh Gad in the MCU is kind of awesome.
sure, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Is he? I don't
Is he
know.
gone? I don't know.
Is
What happened
he?
to him?
But it's funny because like they must have had a plan
Right.
to do something with Wonder Man because James Gunn put Wonder Man in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and he's in a deleted scene, but they deleted it. And
Mm,
so there must have been somebody in Marvel that said, no, we gotta a fucking, we got a plan for this.
right.
And Wonder Man was Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion
Okay.
was playing Wonder Man. And and so that was also part of the issue some people had, which was like Nathan Fillion as Wonder Man is like perfect. Except, Nathan Fillion doesn't have muscles anymore. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I mean the look of him is very Wonder Man-ish,
Sure. Sure.
Um, so they must have had something in the barrel, for a while. Because
Hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxies,
That was a while ago.
that was
That
a
was a
while
while
ago.
ago.
You know,
So I
they
I
must
just
have
think it
put the
was
kibosh on that.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just coincidence. You know, it's like,
To me this series actually made me trust the Marvel, the whole MCU process a little bit more, because I'm
yeah.
like, this is definitely, you are pulling up from the nonsense over the last couple of years, right? So
I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed the performances. I thought it was good. I watched it all in two sittings. So
right.
obviously I didn't hate it. I just kept going, why are you telling me this story?
Hmm.
Like, and now if you give me a second season, now it'll make more sense to me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like if this was the only story you wanted to tell me and you just kind of went away, I'd be a little more irritated. I'd be like,
Like, make it make sense.
make it make
Right.
sense for me. Now, if you come up to, you come up with another season and it moves on, then I can go, okay, well, that's a shit ton of, character development. Great. And now we're moving on and I'm going to probably see his powers more and you're going to tell me a different story. That's fine. With this one, it was just like, why are you telling me this story about, trying to get a job was all.
I saw
Well,
some blowback online about, like, you mean he was here the whole time when Thanos took over and all this shit happened and he was here, he was here, he was here. But I feel like that's disingenuous because he was stifling his powers and he wanted to be an actor. Like, not
mhm.
just because you recognize you have powers. I think we have to realize this in humanity. You're not necessarily going to always want to use them. You're going to
Right.
Mhm.
see yourself as an outcast. and you're going to try to put those away in your back pocket and try to pursue a normal life as an actor, but
Yeah,
like
and I think
normal life.
another conversation that we're kind of glossing over is the one that he had with his ex-girlfriend, you know.
Mhm.
He was a selfish guy.
Right.
He was a selfish
Mhm.
guy. He didn't let her in. He didn't she knew, and she she was just basically waiting the whole time for him to be able to trust her enough, you know. He did think about himself too much. So if someone says, "Oh, what, why wasn't he there fighting Thanos?" It's because he wanted to be an actor, and that's all he could think about.
That's
And
it.
he was like a
Exactly
selfish
it.
person. People are
Mhm.
selfish, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
And
mean, to me, that
that
just makes him more relatable in a way.
and it also is what made the ending even better. Is that here's this
Like
selfish
he
guy.
risked it. Yeah.
He comes full circle and he saves his friend, right? So, uh, um, I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. I thought it had even though his powers were really understated when they did manifest, it was dramatic. So I thought it was great. Thought it was awesome. Thumbs. I mean, who do we all give it a thumbs up? Do we all say it was good?
I mean, ultimately, yeah, I have to give it a thumbs up. I would
Alex
I
and
would give it a
Joe.
100%.
thumbs up.
I'm not
100%.
mad at it, dude. I would if I
I'm not
had
mad at it. Yeah.
if I had
I'm
two
just
thumbs, it would be like this.
yes. It would be more like that. It would be more like that.
A thumb and a
It's like
half.
it's like I totally understand how people could like it, but when there's a bunch of comments about how slow it is, I mean I can't disagree with them.
That's not
I
wrong.
can't I
It's
can't
not
say they're
wrong.
lying,
It
you
is
know?
slow. It was more of a character drama than it was an action show. And if you
Right.
weren't
And
ready for
so
that, then you
right,
weren't
and
ready
that's
for
the
that.
other thing is like when I'm watching a superhero flick or show, I kind of want that. At the same time, maybe that's an issue that I have to come to grips with because when you look at um, Moon Knight or WandaVision or some of these, they're not just going to be action packed, slug amounts. Obviously, there's a lot of, it's a show. It's going to be 8 hours or, in this case,
Sure.
4 hours or whatever. So maybe I need to start tempering my expectations that it's not everything's going to be, Civil War and Avenger and Infinity War where it's just like it's going on all the time.
And not everything should be,
Right.
Yeah,
It's cool
so
to see.
Moon Knight and WandaVision were so different and so creative and so fun to watch. And I'm not saying that this wasn't because it was, but again, our expectations have a different field when it comes to the MCU. So you're absolutely right. And thinking about what you just said, Eric, um, as far as this not being an action show, but more of a drama and things like that, I think about the Rip. And when I'm talking about to people about the Rip at work, they're like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, they think it's an action show. It's not an action show. It's a cop drama. It's a whodunit. It's
Right.
it's not what you think it is going into it, but it's such a good goddamn movie, which we talked about a few weeks ago. Like this was yes, this was very enjoyable as a show, as a 4 hour 5 hour show. It's worth your time. It's very enjoyable. And if you're a comic fan, you should watch it.
I agree. I agree with that. So we didn't talk about the cameo in the
Right.
show, right? Joey Pants shows up, a guy who has a special place in my heart. And they did say, I just want to go around the table real quick. We're going to talk very quickly about Joey Pants. It was great to see him. The one piece of advice that I would give to Joey Pants is just commit, dude. Just shave your head. Like shave your head, bro. Just commit to it.
I
Do
wasn't
the
a wig.
part. Bro, I don't know what that was, but damn.
I
So
thought it was a wig. I thought it was a wig.
so I really like Joey Pants, but I what I want to do is I want to kick it to Alex because Alex, I am sure, is going to talk about my favorite role that Joey Pants has done, and I don't want to steal his thunder. Take it away, Alex.
I mean, it's definitely Bound, like Caesar. And it's just sort of like, I mean, Bound is, as close to a perfect as a movie can be. But it's like, the thing about Bound is every time I watch it, I have the same feeling towards Joey Banks' character, where it's like
Hmm.
initially I hate him and I'm like, I hope they fucking get this guy. But about halfway through, there's like a change where I'm starting to kind of root for him because it's just sort of like just nothing's going his way and everything's so tight. I'm like, dude, you can do this. You can do,
Right.
and so and eventually get to a point where I'm like, I really hope he like kills these two bitches, honestly. But then, but then they bring it back again, and then they bring it back again in the end, like, okay, no, you're a son of a bitch again.
Right,
You know,
right.
so it's just like it's always just really, really interesting arc, where it's just like it's always the same way. Like, during the day, like I don't remember liking him this much, and then
Right.
all right, and then it's just sort of. But ever since that was the first thing I really remembered seeing him in. I know he's been in other stuff before that,
Sure.
but that's the first thing I remember being memorable. That he was in, and I've been a big fan of his ever since. And it's just like it was kind of startling to see him on this because I didn't recognize him at first, because as I came on, I was like, "What is that? Is that yeah?"
Instantly recognizable.
It's been a lot
Right.
of years, And it's just sort of like it was kind of funny because it goes back to the end and he shows up again, spoiler, and then I instantly recognized him. It's like it's really kind of amazing what a little bit of like makeup and a little bit of just
I do think that was absolutely the best gag in the whole show. Was at the end you think it's gonna be Ben Kingsley, and then it turns around and it's Joey Pants.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that was hilarious because of how that conversation went earlier in the show, where they were both like, "Fuck you, Joey Pants," and then he's like in the movie, and I just thought that was the best gag in the whole movie or the whole show.
So,
Yeah.
Jubal, Joey Pants is absolutely bald now. That was a wig.
Okay, good.
He's 1000% bald now.
Good. I'm glad to hear it because that wig made him. That was terrible. That was the worst wig I've ever seen, except for the wig on the director. What was that? It was like this. It was the same wig. It's just turned it upside down or something.
Yeah.
Man,
am I mistaken? Is the was the director the same guy who was the leader of that country in Superman just recently?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was. He was also the big Russian guy in 2012. If you remember that,
yes,
right?
yes,
Good.
that's right.
That is good.
Yeah.
So he's been around. I don't know his name. I should know his name, but he's been around. He's been in a bunch of stuff. So I just want to say, as far as Joey Pants is concerned, I won't bring up The Matrix. That's the one. Again, I can't eat a steak without thinking of you in The Matrix. But he played a character that showed up in a couple of movies. It was a small part in The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals, right?
Okay.
He played the same character in both of those movies. U.S. Marshals was the sequel to The Fugitive, which, with Wesley Snipes. Not a lot of people saw that. By the way, it was a really good movie. But he played one of the FBI guys, basically, in both of those movies. He didn't have a whole bunch, but I thought he brought this layer of credibility to the investigators and to the FBI side of things in both of those movies. I thought he did. It was a much more dramatic performance. It wasn't a comedic performance, obviously. And then I always think of him as the goon in one of the bad guys in Goonies, like one of the guys that,
right.
I always remember him from that movie. He's got that. He's like got that horrible face when he's about to stick the kid's hand in the blender. And I'm just like, jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Joey Pants. Nothing but appreciation for that guy.
I'll say one that probably people don't think about because I'm a big fan of Daredevil. Obviously, he was in the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Oh, the old Daredevil. Yeah.
He was the Ben Urich character.
Right.
And the thing is at the time, people were like, Ben Affleck is, as Daredevil and Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, which wasn't as bad as I think people thought it was going to be. And so him being in that, he was kind of more the elder statesman,
right,
in a way. And I felt like he was in there to give the movie some credibility, some gravitas. Or like Joey Pants is in this, you know what I mean? So, I appreciate him for that. He was also in The Sopranos. He had a character where the guy told a joke and it caused so much bullshit. So many people died because this man told a joke and people told on him for telling the joke.
That's rough.
And
yep. Bueller, you got anything for Joey Pants?
Bad Boys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Good one. Good call out.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I mean, you guys brought up all the other ones I was thinking of, so just keep it short. Bad Boys. I'll
He
just
was in more than one, wasn't he? He
yeah, he
showed up.
was,
I think he was in
Yeah,
like all of them until the last one.
but I think he
right.
got killed in the
He
last
got killed
one.
in like the third one, and then
Yeah,
in the
so spoiler.
yeah,
But like I will never forget he just fucking he made me laugh my ass off when he was shooting hoops and both
and he was
Bad
just
Boys
missing badly.
and he's like I was fucking getting them all in before you guys showed up.
Yeah,
Like what the fuck, man? No, you
That's
weren't.
awesome.
No,
you
you
know what?
weren't.
You know what? Honestly, like minute for minute, that might be my favorite role of his because
Mhm.
he was hilarious in especially the first two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah, I
for
was
not a lot of
actually
screen time, he really made the most of it, you know.
100%.
I was actually just running through his movie list, and I knew I was forgetting something I couldn't remember, but Memento. It was
Memento.
like,
Oh yeah, Teddy? Was it Teddy?
yeah. Don't
Yeah,
believe his lies.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. He
Yeah.
was good in that movie.
He's
Yeah,
always good. Yeah.
yeah. He is always good. So salute to Joey
Also,
Pants.
my favorite thing about Joey Pants is that anytime that Joey Pants comes up, is Alex going, Joey Pants! Because Alex gets very excited when Joey Pants shows
It's
up.
because of Bound, man. That movie, he was so good in Bound. Like he was so good in Bound. And Alex is right. It's like you hate him, and then he starts to he figures shit out, and like you're rooting for him. You're like, oh, you got this. You can figure it out. And then he's a son of a bitch again. He just does a great job in that movie. If you haven't seen Bound, check out Bound.
For a
Uh,
lot of reasons.
yeah, yeah. That was the Wachowski brothers' first movie, right? Wasn't it?
Shit.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I think they had written some screenplays, but that was the first movie they directed.
Right, right. So great flick.
It's like
Uh,
four reasons to look at that movie then.
yeah.
Four.
At
At
least
least.
four.
At least four.
At least four. Thanks for joining us tonight on Cult Fiction. We will see you next week. Take care, everybody.